Natty State Studio, the sports media palace of Mid-America, the Wolf of Center Street. Here's your host, John Neighbors.
And welcome in to the John Neighbors Show here live from Tin Roof Dickson because it is a Thursday. And this is the place to be, just like every Thursday that we are here. And the whole Natty State crew is up, and we even have different colored shirts on. And Andrew has his own little bombastic podcast on.
He's doing his own thing now.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I didn't know I didn't know it was a requirement. Every week we got to wear our Natty State. You didn't send the email. I didn't get the memo about that, so I thought I could just freestyle it a little bit.
You were just freestyling during the
Hillary made me this really nice shirt, which is great, and I love Hillary for that. But she also was like kind of threatening about it, where she was like, "You really need to wear the shirt," and I was like, "All right, I'll wear the shirt. It's all good."
No, it just might be going separate, like Justin Timberlake did from NSYNC or Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5.
Every boy band has the one.
That's the one. Yeah, Harry Styles, I guess. Wasn't that the? That's a guy.
Harry Styles,
that's a guy that says things.
That's a boy band that had one successful one.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Justin Timberlake's a big inspiration for you. So is that kind
obviously?
Is that like kind of your whole master plan is to be Justin Timberlake of this whole thing?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, just to
speaking of boy
to get
bands
Britney Spears in her
one,
prime and move on to bigger, better things. Pretty much. That's what we go for. But there is nothing bigger and there's nothing better than Tin Roof Dickson here, which we were going to be out here tonight, getting you ready for the regional. A little different time, a little later into the night, but that's what we're doing. A lot of people coming into town, getting you all ready for that. And we're going to have plenty to talk about today because not only are you going to have us to come hang out with, but we're also going to have some former players like Dominic Ficacello, one of the great Dominics that's played for Arkansas, of Fletcher and Tomez and Taccolini. Yeah. So one of the great Dominics. So we'll have them on, and we'll get you ready for the baseball regionals and everything, guys, which you can always tell. It's a little different atmosphere in Fayetteville. I know the weather's looking a little dicey for the weekend, but
that's one way to put it.
Yeah. But it's like it's looking so different, like in a, not a bad way, but in an interesting way of like the atmosphere. Because school's out, but yet it feels like school's back in.
You could tell something big is about to happen. Like whenever there's a football game, like football season, you really feel this. Like all week, you can kind of tell there's like a big event coming. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's a big event coming. Arkansas postseason. There's a big event coming. It just has that same kind of feel a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a little nip in the air, a little bit of tension in the air.
Well, I was even thinking about it too because it's exciting for Razorback baseball, obviously, to have hosting a regional here. But like this past week has been interesting for not only baseball, but then you got the basketball news, which I know you guys, Kirsten, Scotty, with Pond at the Palace, been staying busy with some possible additions, and then just casually throwing in. It's like, Arkansas is going to play Michigan in Madison Square Garden this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought Simmons Bank Arena was great. Wait till you get a hold of Madison Square Garden, man, or the BOK Center.
It's not as good as the BOK Center, though. I mean, come on.
The Box Center, but man, that I know we're going to talk plenty of baseball, but man, guys, that's an awesome thing. That is an awesome thing.
I'm really excited about that. I feel like people might have kind of jumped the gun a little bit yesterday because if you listen to Cal's interview down there at the spring meetings, he was very much like, "Oh, you got to do this. We're going to try to play here. You got to play at a Madison Square Garden." But he didn't really say like, "Hey, we're doing this," and people took it and ran with it.
He'd be like, "Yeah, it would be obviously great if we did it, but."
Right, and so I'm just kind of like, I was trying to be a little bit measured about it because it's the mecca of basketball, period, in this world. And so for it to come out the next day that they're playing Michigan down there, the Jimmy V Classic, I mean, it's an annual, it's a showcase event. It's probably going to be on ESPN or whatever. Playing a brand name in Michigan, which, they kind of stunk last year. We can all agree with that.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
It's cool, man. The storylines are awesome. They got Dusty May there as the head coach, so John L. Davis will get to give his former head coach the business in that game, and it's just awesome, man. So I can't even think about what it's going to feel like to be in MSG watching the Razorbacks play. It's going to be incredible. And honestly, that's the best thing about. I shouldn't say the best thing, but it's one of the things that I think is a little bit, I don't know, like maybe not talked about enough with Calipari, because you think about it, and you got a setting Hall of Fame head coach, and he's going to bring in a bunch of talented guys who are going to wind up getting drafted. But what he can do in terms of the spotlight for the program and getting games like this and getting Arkansas and this, in the best venues and, on the primetime channels and in the primetime events, this is what he's able to do.
Yeah.
And this is the first, example of that. And it's just going to be one of many. So it's very cool, man.
To me, it seems like if he wasn't able to get one of his teams into an event or two like that, he would wind up just playing 29 regular season games instead. Like if he can't get the spotlight a little bit, shine it on himself, the program, the players, like all of that is mixed together. But it's going to be one of those deals where Dan Schulman and Jay Billis are calling the game, or somebody like that. Like it's going to be the freaking A team calling that game, and you have Nelly Davis going against his former coach and one of his former 1-2 punch guy with Vlad Golden.
Oh, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, FAU just played in the Jimmy V Classic last year at MSG, so they're not going to be unfamiliar with that whole venue.
Against future Razorback Coleman Hawkins.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Yeah. I vividly remember that game because I was like, kind of like Illinois in this game. I parlayed Terrence Shannon to score over 20 points and Illinois to cover 2.5 or whatever, and they just kind of ran away with it. They scored almost 60 points in the second half of that game.
Jeez.
It was crazy, but it's wild how back in early December or whatever, and now you're kind of looking back and seeing all the people that are kind of playing a role in the life of Arkansas now.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking of course, as soon as it popped, it's like, all right, we got to make a trip to the Big Apple. I've never been to New York City in my life. It shows how cultured I am.
Me either.
And I don't know what the places will be going. Hey, Mal, do they have a tin roof in New York City? Not yet. Okay. Well, we're
work on it by December.
Yeah.
We'll open it up with us. When we go up there.
Tin Roof Times Square. Why not?
Yeah.
I've never been to New York either. That's why 10 minutes before the show started, I was like, hey, John, just so we're clear, company trip to
It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
A little pot at the
You gotta
Palace
get the ball
pregame show
rolling
to kick
early,
off Tin Roof Times Square.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a reason for bombastic podcast to go live in New York City in December. It's
of course.
Always.
There's got to be some reason.
Especially
we can
following
find.
this Natty that's about to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
geez. I mean, we're going to still be talking about this baseball team in December, of course.
And maybe Razorback baseball coach Tony Vitello comes up there, at that time.
Who
And
knows?
A lot of things could change. But no, that's going to be awesome to see. And the fact of, again, I think just, oh, man, I was going, BOK Center in Tulsa against Oklahoma.
Man.
It's now, which the Dallas game, or because he mentioned Dallas, and is that going to be at the, is it the American Airlines Center still?
I would
that's where the
imagine that's
Mavs
what
play.
they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see who they play for that. Madison Square Garden, you could play anybody, and it's going to be a draw for
be a
ticket
deal.
sales. So Michigan, okay, cool. It feels like the Dallas thing might be a little bit more regional.
Yeah.
So I don't, whatever, bring Baylor up there, Houston, there's so many good
Texas.
possibilities. And Arkansas fans are going to travel like crazy down there for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be a blast. Drivable, that's easy, man. I cannot wait for it.
Yeah. I mean,
I almost wanted to say TCU, but that's not on the level of opponent that Cal wants in one of
Isn't
those
that something?
showcase games, right?
Isn't that something?
that's great.
He doesn't want to coach against Jamie Dixon if he gets to choose about it.
He doesn't want to see Trezarian White again, and I get it.
Yeah. It's like how many people know who you are? Okay, then I'm not playing you, pretty much.
Do you think I asked Scotty this earlier today on the Pod of the Palace, but I want to ask you two guys this. It sounds like they're going to do the thing at North Little Rock again, but do you feel like with John Calipari, do you think he's going to drive his team on a bus to North Little Rock to play Lipscomb
No.
or Bradley or whoever? I feel like they might actually get a good team in there to play that game.
I mean,
I thought you were going where they're going to just not do it altogether. I was like, man, that would have been.
He
crazy.
said he was going to do it, so
My line of thinking was they might move the date of the game so you're not battling finals at the time or whatever.
So it's not a scheduled letdown.
Yeah, and you would get a name opponent.
I think it's if they do one, and I don't know how people feel about it, but dude, one that makes sense is Memphis.
Yes,
That's the one that makes the most sense because it 2 hours from Memphis to Little Rock, and then 2.5 from Fayetteville. So that would be the one where it would absolutely make the most sense.
It would be nuts.
And hopefully for the game, they get the lights figured out. By the time that game gets played.
That's true. Yeah, at least they got the streaming thing figured out this past year.
Yeah.
But the lights delayed the game by 20 minutes or whatever. So it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
For them to get it figured out.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, they'll get there at some point. But yeah, basketball's still a main thing for people right now. Even though there's just a few months till it gets going, but the Cal impact and I don't know. Seeing him at SEC meetings with the red quarter zip on still is weird.
Looks
like,
great.
I mean,
he
it looks
loves
great,
the red quarter zip, the Razorback logo. That's one of,
No,
he doesn't have the bag's not too deep yet right now.
do you think they presented him with like different ones, and he's just like, I'm not wearing that. Nah, this one okay. I don't know, because he's always been just a suit and tie guy, and finally gotten into the quarter zips.
Well, right now he's got white, silver, red.
Yeah.
That it? A couple different red ones?
He's got to talk to Branson about getting those sport coats figured out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Does he go sports coats? Because I feel like when he goes casual for the games is when he just doesn't have a tie on. Like, that was how he used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when Arkansas played him when it was Archie Goodwin. When he mailed it in, he's like, this team sucks. They're going to the NIT. He's like, I'm just taking my tie off. That's how I'm mailing it in.
I'm not wearing a tie to Robert Morris.
Yeah.
We no longer cover a polo coach.
No.
Big polo coach with Eric Musselman. He was like anti-suit, anti-establishment. Now we've got a little bit different situation here. We got a gentleman now.
I'm okay
as our
with
head
that.
coach.
But do you feel pressure to dress it up? Like
No.
like us as media? Like,
on Wednesday night when they play UNC Asheville,
Yeah. I wouldn't think so.
I'm showing up there in sweatpants.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I'm wondering how the media, the astute media that are here in Arkansas, how is that going to change?
Eric was sporty comfy. I think Cal is gentleman comfy.
Yeah.
I think you can be comfy, but there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, listen, I'll be just tickled as can be when it actually happens. So, but we're here at Tin Roof on Dickson Street, getting you ready, and hopefully if the games go as scheduled tomorrow, which we'll see because the rain looks a little dicey. Arkansas's playing at 2 p.m., and they're going to be going up against SEMO, Southeast Missouri. And if that happens, we are going to be back out at Tin Roof tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with the bombastic postgame show, live reacting to Game 1 win with Mason Molina on the bump.
Yeah, Mason Molina. He's going to go probably 6 innings, 1 run. He'll be solid. It didn't take me long to talk myself into the decision. Arkansas is going to start 2-0. They're going to start Mason Molina, go 1-0. Hagen Smith, and then hand Gage Wood the ball in Game 3 with a little bit less pressure. Mason Molina, who they call Showtime, as we learned from Jack Wagner. That's what he says. He calls himself. I like the decision, and I think Mason Molina on the bump will keep us on schedule. So even if they start 30, 45 minutes late, Mason Molina will get the job done. We'll be right back here, 6 to 8 post game show. It's going to be electric, man. Nobody's doing more baseball content than the Bombastic Podcast this time of year.
I think it just makes sense too, right? Like that Molina is starting Game 1. Like he's out of the pitchers. If you take Hagen Smith out of the equation, who's got more momentum than Mason Molina right now?
He's
in terms of a guy who could maybe start a game, go 5 for you.
100%. I mean, this is a guy that started a regional game last year with Texas Tech, struck out 10, has been in this situation before. He's also a guy, DVH said, his last couple outings, he said, we're starting to see the guy that we thought we were getting. And who they thought they were getting was a legitimate number 2, number 3 option in your starting rotation. And I think he's kind of timed it perfectly. I mean, he had the foot injury, which was back when we were in Little Rock. That was like the scuttlebutt is, I hope Mason Molina's got a broken foot. Maybe they rushed him back from that injury too early. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But his last 2 or 3 outings have been really encouraging. And so you feel like he's kind of back to who he needs to be. And this time of year, I mean, especially with Brady Tiger being out, Arkansas kind of needs him to step up. And I mean, Gage Wood, if you can get 5 good innings out of him, cool. But you would rather do that in Game 3 when there's a little bit less pressure than Game 1 when everyone's kind of looking at you ready to set the tone for the weekend. I think DVH is just kind of playing the percentages. I mean, if you go 2-0, you win your regional 85% of the time. If Arkansas starts Mason Molina Game 1 against a little bit not an SEC opponent, he's been really good against non-conference opponents this year. I feel like it just makes a lot of sense. And so Arkansas starts 2-0, they win the regional. It's an easy weekend for all of us. That's what we need.
Let me throw this at you, Andrew, because you're the baseball guru here. Let's say they go Molina and then they go Hagen, and then you get to Game 3, you go Gage Wood, and you drop Game 3. You have to play a Game 4. Brady Tiger's off the table. Who do you start in a Game 4?
So it depends. I think Will McIntyre is a very real option.
That's what I was going to say.
I know that right now Will McIntyre might not be the most popular guy amongst the Arkansas fan base.
Hey,
but
he's done it before.
He's done it before. He's thrown 7 innings in an elimination game in Omaha. If you can do that, we don't need to question your fortitude. Obviously, Will McIntyre has not had his best stuff here the last few weeks, but he's always been a guy throughout his career that when the lights are on, he just kind of shows up. And look, in a setting like that where it's a must-win on Monday night, where both teams have kind of emptied the tank. It's not like you need 6 innings out of your starter. Arkansas would also have a guy like Ben Bybee who's had some extended outings. Mason Molina is starting tomorrow. If he doesn't pitch after that, I mean, that Monday he'd probably be available for an inning or two. By that point, it's all hands on deck, and everyone's going to be kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. The difference is Arkansas's bottom of the barrel is a bunch of dudes that throw like 95 out of the bullpen.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, Jake Faraday. It's like, oh, man, we got to dig deep and get Jake Faraday and Christian Fouch out there. It is what it is. So I just feel like Arkansas, that's kind of what sets this team apart is they're built to answer some of those questions that teams are always facing in those Monday elimination game situations.
I can't wait for Jae-Woo Chu to make his debut.
Yes.
Everybody's like waiting on it to happen like it's like coming tomorrow.
He's been the hidden gem that has just like he's just waiting in the wings, and then he's going to come in, he's going to throw 106 and just give some, what Dice K should have been is what he's going to be. And so like I'm just hoping for that. But no, I would be very happy and satisfied with a quick. I guess if they go 3-0, they win it, right?
That's how this works.
That's how that works. Okay.
3 in a row.
3 in a row. You're good to go. So yeah, maybe they just do that and they move on. But I'm kind of hoping. I don't know with the weather, we may get a 3 a.m. action. If it plays it out right.
Like if that's how it goes down,
it'll be what it is.
We were talking earlier that there's UFC. There's a pretty notable UFC card happening Saturday night. If things go according to plan, it's going to be really hard to watch both. If we have a little bit of weather action, it might move around the schedule. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing.
No, not at all. So, well, fellas, I'm going to relieve you of your duties here so you can enjoy the rest of your time at Tin Roof Dickson, where last time I checked, the beer is cold. And they have plenty of drinks and plenty of specials going on. They got reverse happy hour going on tonight from 9 to 11, too. Is it $1 cocktails, right? $1 from 9 to 11. Okay, so the rest of the time is $3, and also you're going to get the great special. You're going to get the great vibes, and this is the Fayetteville Regional HQ, as we like to call it here. So
that's right.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I spotted more important guests walk in while we were doing our segment, so it's like I get it.
Yeah, we need to wrap this.
Oh, Glenny Balls is here again? No,
just the man who introduced Tupac to Arkansas.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Wait, honestly, I mean, set the foundation. Think about how many cool Cali kids there have been come through Arkansas. I feel like Ficky, he kind of set the foundation for that whole thing. You don't get Patrick Wicklander without Dominic Ficacello.
Exactly.
You don't get Gabe Gackle without Dominic Ficacello. It just is what it is.
That's true. And also, who can forget, of course, another great former Razorback great and buddy of mine, Tim Carver, who's over there from Fayetteville High School.
That's right.
This is the guy that we listened to the Eminem show in my Mercury Cougar driving down to Fort Smith Moorside games, man. We go way back. So
if I get the bat out and start doing some cuts, Tim Carver might recognize me because 2009 Arkansas baseball camp, he was my instructor. I'll never forget when he made that play in the World Series. I was like, hell yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's the thing about Andrew. He has these things like when he had the picture with you and Tyler Wilson that time, and then
me and Frank Broyles. I've got pictures with all the greats: Frank Broyles, Mallett, and Tim Carver. All the Razorback legends,
man.
Bro.
That's all you need, man. So, well, appreciate you guys. Enjoy your time here, and be sure to come out here not only tonight but again tomorrow, as it's going to be the place to be for the Fayetteville Regionals. So. Get after it, guys.
There we go.
Represent us well. So.
Got it.
All right, so we'll have more to talk about here in just a little bit, and we'll have Dominic Ficacello and Tim Carver joining us. I'm sure they'll have some really great takes to talk about baseball, and we'll do that here in just a little bit. But we need to tell you about our friends over at BroThrow, because a lot of people have been asking about some of the things that have been going on with BroThrow. And I'll tell you, it's been also really cool to see the amount of people that we've gotten involved with going to BroThrow.com/Natty. That's Natty, by the way, /Natty. If you check them out, they have one of these awesome things happening where college baseball, of course, with the road to Omaha that most people are going to be going on, or at least trying to go on, they have an extra deal right now where it's a College World Series regional pick'em contest where you pick the winners of each regional and you earn your share of the prize pool. And what's a bonus in it is that they're going to kick in on an extra $250 if someone picks all 16 winners correctly. So if you're really good at it and you actually pick it correctly, it's as simple as that. You get to be a winner and win more in bonuses. So you got to check it out today at BroThrow.com/Natty. That's BroThrow.com/Natty. Start making some money on these baseball regionals and what's the setup there too. And it's going to be a great weekend, and hopefully just continue to pick Arkansas as the regional and super regional College World Series winner, because that's what they're going to end up doing. So be sure to go to BroThrow.com/Natty. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with Dom and Tim. So you better stay with us as we are live from Tin Roof here on Dickson Street.
We're not done yet either. one spot because we're not done.
Hey John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I had a two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
And I like, I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Well, stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Neighbors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Neighbors Show here live from Tin Roof on Dickson Street, getting you ready for the Fayetteville Regional. Looks like a little rain outside, but still a great crowd. Appreciate everybody showing up here in person, of course, as well as watching us across the world, all the billions of people out there. And this is really what people have been looking forward to the most. They do not give a crap about me. We have former Razorback greats Tim Carver, as well as Dominic Ficcicello, both joining us here. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Not a lot, man. Really good to see you, man. We used to hang out, and
we used to. What happened,
man? Been keeping up with you ever
since.
since. I'm really happy for all of our friends that I grew up with that are successful.
Yeah.
Never jealous, other than Zach Ward's nice boat. Other than that, I'm happy to see everybody kind of blossoming into themselves. You know.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. And Dom. I know that, of course, we've known each other a few years, so just need your opinion. The President of the United States getting charged. What are you? No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm not going to get into that. Let's say that's how we get in trouble. I had to set you up real quick, though, and we can move on from now. Yeah, we'll save that for later. But anyways, it's good to have you on, man, and talking. I know the regionals is like, that's one of the things where I know you guys both played in College World Series, and Tim, I know you even coached in it, but what is the experience like as a former player, like coming from a regular season, the grind and the everything, and going into a regional and knowing that, hey, it's do or die now. You got to get after it right away.
It's a little different. It's a lot more pressure. Every at bat, every pitch, every ball put in plays. It feels like it's extremely important that it goes our way. So. For pitchers, I know every pitch is a lot more stress, wears them down a little bit more. As hitters, like I said, the Super Regional in Baylor took years off my life. Like the stress that came with it, having to be focused on every pitch. I mean, it easily took years off my life, but it was the greatest time ever.
Dude, I nearly crapped my pants that entire time. And I was just watching it from the TV. I can imagine what it was like in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, regular season is more about the process. And really, even just watching our team this year, and it's really every year, if you really like dial in and watch it, you can see even Coach Van Horn really has kind of matured Gage Wood throughout the season. I can point to one part or one moment in the season, but I'm not going to speak for anybody because this is just my speculation. But you can really see him always trying to build these guys up throughout the year, getting them ready for the postseason. Some things are kind of here or there as the season goes, but it's all to get built up for this moment that's about to start tomorrow. And everyone's like, well, this came out of nowhere. It's like, hey, man, this is kind of a product that's been put in play all year. And you unless you've been through it and you experience it, then you might not understand it or see it. But he really is trying to mold these guys all year, getting them ready mentally, physically, emotionally to get ready for this postseason and really for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, well, people are going into the regional postseason anyways, always just nervous because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, you guys are baseball guys, but to me, baseball postseason college is one of the most unpredictable. Like, who knows? Like, Tennessee is dominant right now, but what was it? 2 years ago, they went a mere 56-8 and 25-5 in the SEC, and didn't even make it to Omaha. So you just never know how it's going to go. But I think that's what makes it fun. But also having a coach like Dave Van Horn, experience. He's been to a few regionals, a few College World Series. Mm-hmm. I think that it's, people may not know if the team's ready by what they've seen recently, or, they went 0-2 in the SEC tournament. It's kind of like, hey, none of that matters now. You're here, you're hosting, you're a national seed. What you did before doesn't matter. It's what you do now.
Yeah, you either have to have a lot of upperclassmen or you have to try to mature the young guys really fast. And so you'll see a little bit more aggressiveness in the coaching probably on the younger guys when you're a little younger. Because if you notice in March Madness, there weren't very many people that won in the postseason if you didn't have an upperclassman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's kind of a system to it.
And you'll see a lot of guys that maybe didn't get a whole lot of playing time during the regular season. You'll see some new guys that step into the spotlight, kind of become big-name guys for the team. McIntyre a couple of years ago was one of them. Didn't see much of him during the regular season, but, when his time was up and his name was called, you'll see some guys step into the spotlight, and it'll surprise a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And next season, they'll be, one of the big guys, in the rotation or in the lineup.
So what was the for the regionals? Just looking at that, what was like a game, a play, or whatever that you guys remember the most from when you played at Arkansas? A regional matchup that stood out to you the most?
One of the regional deals was honestly the Baylor one. I mean, we finished it. I couldn't even get to the dog pile. Both my calves cramped up, and I just fell down at shortstop. You just
because it was like 128 something down there.
Yeah.
That Texas heat down there, man. It burns a little differently.
It's miserable. It's miserable. But like Jake Wise, that game 3 of Baylor came off the bench late as a defensive replacement, defensive sub. Gets his first at bat in the 10th inning and swings at the first pitch, drives in the only run of the game, sends us to Omaha. So things like that. Him and Bo Bigham turned a huge double play with the bases loaded earlier in that game to keep it 0-0, like a tough double play. There's a number of things that stick out in that series. And all of that coming after we got our butts whipped in the first game of the series. So, doesn't really matter. I'm telling you right now, it's not over till it's over. As cliche as that is because we got our tails whipped. We lost, by 7 runs, 9 runs, something like that. Next day, we're trailing, and you and I have talked about this before.
It's my favorite walk-off of all time.
The booted double play ball by their shortstop, who was nails the entire series, and then back-to-back hit batters with the bases loaded to send us to game 3. So,
speaking of which, I don't know how many balls you picked for me.
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot, but that's my job.
Yeah,
that's my job. You did the tough part. All I had to do was catch the ball. So that's the most fun I get to have as a first baseman is when him and Bigham and Reynolds used to spike balls in the dirt.
But wasn't that because in that hit by pitch, they changed pitchers, didn't they? It was like they hit the guy to hit pitch, okay, tie game. They bring in a new pitcher, and the very first pitch. Is it John Clay Reeves, right? Yeah. John Clay Reeves walks him in. It's like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening now. But that was just, again, I know you guys lived it, but that's the kind of great thing about baseball is like those plays. And, even more recently, I think to the regional I was at there at Stillwater. when that was one of the highest scoring regionals I've ever seen in my life. I think Oklahoma State and
what year was
Missouri,
that?
That was 2022.
Okay.
That was Oklahoma State and Missouri State. I think in game, because Arkansas had won games 1 and beat Oklahoma State in game 2, and they were waiting. But I think that game combined was like 27-14.
We were in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was just thinking about 2015 when
that too.
When Zach Jackson was on the bump, and this is when I was a student coach, and I've never been this nervous in my life playing. Coaching is completely different because you have no control about what's happening. And I was just sitting there pacing, and I don't know how Van Horn just stands there, and just Coach Van Horn, sorry, and how he just stands there and is so stoic, man. In those moments, like it's tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably again, he's been there so much. It's nothing phases him anymore. But another thing too, I wanted to bring this up because I feel like Chris Farley from the Nets. You remember that time when you were with the Beatles? Like the game that, of course, in Omaha when you went to the College World Series, I guess it was in 2009.
Okay.
Was when you had the Brett Eibner home run against Virginia.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, again, continuing to go back to the whole baseball thing of it, just how it's just one play. Virginia had one out with bases loaded, and they were about to walk it off, and they hit it right to Tim. Tim at shortstop, kind of got it, but you got that double play there.
I blacked out.
Man, I couldn't imagine. Could not imagine, because I guess that was. I mean, you were what, a sophomore? Like, so
no,
yeah.
that was so. I redshirted my first year, so that was my true freshman
year.
Okay. And that was a lefty. Those old bats were ridiculously hot.
Incredible.
Man.
So any ball that's hit by a lefty has side spin as it is. So you just kind of do this, and I happened to knock it down and flip it. The other ball that's ever been hit harder was by Preston Tucker by Florida. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's those old composite bats literally didn't have time to take a step before the ball literally hit the fence and then bounced back to the infield before the fielders got to it. Like the old bats are crazy.
So what is it like now? I mean, I know it's different, but like just as far as the bats and the balls go, like how different is it now than what it was?
It's starting to get back to it with the low seams. The bats are they're starting to figure out ways to make them hot for like a week, and then they get a little hotter,
Yeah.
So it's tough to say. I mean, literally BP in practice every day, people were hitting it over the scoreboard, over the batter's eye regularly. And now they're starting to get them hit out there again, but it's not quite like it was.
No.
It's probably a little more true to what a wood bat is, but you never know. It's a little more forgiving. So, like, if you get jammed or something, you're more likely to get it hit. But, like, the actual sweet spot's pretty hot.
I mean, 11, 12, and 13 were tough years.
Yeah.
Those were tough years.
The Omen bat. Remember the Omen bat?
Exactly, dude. Thing was dead. But we had, like, the caps of our bats would pop off every other swing in practice. I mean, it was tough. Unfortunately, I mean, the weird thing is the first year of BB Core bats was my best offensive season in college. But I want to say I probably lost 10, 12 home runs to those bats.
Easy. I remember Bo Bigham literally crushed a ball. He couldn't hit it any more flush. And it's when we were playing in San Diego against Strasburg. And middle of the outfield, just
probably just like got like an exit velo of like 120, and it just pops down there. Yeah. Well, listen, we're speaking with former Razorbacks Dominic Ficacciolo as well as Tim Garver. Like, speaking of bats, when Aloy broke his bat, I feel like that's happened. I was told, at least, I don't watch every college baseball game. I was told that like has happened a little bit more this year, where his bat broke.
I mean, it happens on occasion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a flaw in it or if it's just from overuse.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, those things do start to die. They'll develop cracks in them. Two-piece bats, you rarely see it happen with a one-piece bat. But you see those bats with like a connection piece in the middle. They call it telescoping, usually. Sometimes like the barrel will slide down onto the handle. I mean, that happens. But I don't think I've ever seen it break quite like what his did.
Well, here's the other thing with that is the machines we're hitting off of, the hack attacks, the spin rate on them is so fast that the ball is so heavy, and I guarantee you he probably took 500 swings that week, or like it just swung a bunch, and I guarantee you that bat was just on its last leg by the time it got to that moment.
I was just hoping that was a brand new bat and he's just that strong. That's what I tell everybody. That's what I would say. But also, something about going back to Dave Van Horn, because I know you, of course, Tim, you're coaching now in baseball for Springdale High School. Both of you, of course, are coaching. And I'm curious that you talk about Dave Van Horn. I know how you guys feel about Coach Dave Van Horn. But what type of things have you taken a lot from kind of what you got from him as a coach? And
man, literally a little bit of everything. The U of A, they graduate 88% of kids. Probably more than that, especially in baseball. But then you lose some because they go to pro ball and they might not graduate. I mean, they get off and they do their thing, and then they're making their money. What are they going to come back for?
Yeah.
So ultimately, our team GPA this year was 3.4, somewhere around there. We're trying to get the kids the best thing for them educationally, but at the same time, still get them the best thing for them in the baseball realm, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to raise you up to be young men, to grow up to be men, and still give you the best opportunity. If you'll listen and actually go through his program and do everything, it's going to give you every opportunity in the world to be any person, and whether it's athletically or individually.
Yeah, I would say I don't know how you can top that one there, Dom. But
I'll talk about the baseball side of things.
Yeah.
All right. Personally, and I think Tim would agree with this, Coach Van Horn's the last of a dying breed as far as old school mentality coaches go, and he's adapting. He's adapting as the years go on. Obviously, you can't stay the same. The game's going to change. It's going to evolve. He's evolving too. But to a certain degree, coach has to put his foot down.
Yeah.
So, baseball nowadays, you see a lot of excessive celebrating early on in the game.
Dude, I've never seen that. What are you talking about? Flipping off the outfielders? That's not a common thing
you should come out to some more high school games and see what they do. It's outrageous. Some of it's way over the top. All right, Coach Van Horn just kind of instills in his players, and he's instilled in us, even though, we're over a decade gone from the program, just respect, just an all-around respect for the game, your opponents, yourself, and the celebrating and stuff, that's only a part of it. But, with him, it was always wait until the game's over. If we win, go ahead and celebrate. All right? But baseball's unlike any other sport. There's no clock. All right? So until that 27th out is made, they still got a chance. Mm-hmm. Anybody's got a chance. So he wanted to limit, how out of control we got. I know Tim got in trouble one time, but this wasn't DVH.
Come on, man.
This wasn't DVH. Hey, this was Butler, right?
That's all right. No one's watching anyways.
I think during the pitching change, Tim was, they turned on some music. Yeah. All right. So there's a pitching change, and Tim heard a song over the speakers that he liked, and he was doing a little bit of dancing out at shortstop.
Oh, can you say
our players, I would ride them for it. Do not do this.
Yeah.
So don't listen.
All right. But anyways, it's just, Coach Van Horn instilled a respect for us. And when you step on the field, it's business-like mentality. And you kind of see that with the Arkansas players more, I'd say, than a lot of these other programs, where you can tell that, the whole team isn't coming out of the dugout, after a first inning solo home run, jumping up and down, screaming boom, all this stuff. It drives me up the wall. And I know the game's evolving, and we're going to evolve with it a little bit. All right. But to a degree, I've always believed that the business-like mentality is what develops ball players into becoming successful ball players and successful men or humans once they get off the field too.
Well, I've just thought about, I've talked with, our guy Trent Daniel, I'm friends with down and lives in Bryant. Shout out to Trent. He was talking about there was times where maybe it was his first year or whatever. It's you couldn't have your hair a certain length, had to work a certain way, no facial hair type thing, and said something that there was mustaches there for a bit. until the loss happened, and then suddenly the mustaches were the worst thing that Dave's ever seen, and it's made everybody shave it off. But now, I mean, that's like you said, it's just you got to adapt in some ways and in some capacities. But for y'all, was there a team that really chirped a lot that really stood out?
I mean, when we were playing Ole Miss, there's no hands down.
The worst.
What was that song? Whatever. But
yeah, in the 5th inning or whatever. Yeah, they'd dance in the dugout and pump their arms. And, everything was a show.
But if you notice, they're starting to die down a little bit on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough when you're not making postseason, even though they did.
Hey, we got to bring this up since you brought it up.
Okay,
You called me out. Talking about pants and everything. I want you to tell your story. I want you to tell the story because everything was cool.
Yeah.
This was like the first year, maybe second year, because I think Andy Wilkins, that class, kind of brought the pants down. But then people got a little crazy on what are they called?
We iron or we pull our pants over the edge of an ironing board.
They'll pull those pants and try to pull them all the way to the end to get those big bell bottoms, and iron them down. And
this was actually after you had left. This was 2013, and we went out to Arizona State for a tournament out there.
Yeah.
In Surprise, Arizona, at the spring training complex. And this isn't an excuse, but I'd just come back from an injury. I started the season, on the DL. My the very first game I played was at this tournament, game 1. I showed up, and he had me in the lineup. And in the hotel before the game, I'd taken my pants, pulled them over the ironing board, ironed them, so they sat nice on my cleats. And we ended up losing game 1. We played 4 games total. We lost game 1. I actually did all right. I got to hit my first 2 at bats. So I felt good about myself. Game 2, not so much. We faced a guy that was eventually a first rounder from Gonzaga. We're playing on a backfield. We had like 5,000 fans, and they had 2 little bleachers there, like metal bleachers. We had people standing on trash cans, hanging over the fence. It was a joke, but he carved me up. He made me look foolish, and we ended up losing that. So we're down 0-2 in the tournament. Mm-hmm. And as we're walking onto the bus, oh, by the way, I struck out 3 times that game. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. As we're getting onto the bus, Coach Van Horn, he goes, "Hey, Vic, talk to Goody. We need to get you some new pants." I was like, "Yes, sir." All right. So Goody gave me some new pants, and I took them into the hotel room, and I pulled them over the ironing board, but not quite as much, just enough. Well, we lose game 3, and as we're getting onto the bus after that game, he goes, "Go see Goody." Like, why? Quit messing with your pants. It's like, All right. So Goody gave me another pair of pants. They only went like halfway down my shins. They were awful. And we ended up losing the 4th game, too. We came back. That's when we were number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
And kind of a disappointing moment for me. Mm-hmm. Not in him, in myself more than anything. But that's what I look best in, man. Like I don't have thick legs. I couldn't wear my pants up like you. I don't have calves. I got my dad's calves. All right, thanks. So I had to stretch them out down at the bottom so they sat nicer. But it's funny because I'd done the same thing the previous season, and I had a good season, so he never really said anything to me about it. But when you're ranked number 1 in the country and you go out to Arizona and lose 4 in a row, and 2 of those games are to like Big West, nobody knows who they are type programs.
It changes things a little bit. It's a little humbling.
He starts getting on you a little bit about things that he never noticed before.
Yeah.
Now he starts noticing them, and
with that
you
being
just
said,
have to
he
wear
probably
it.
noticed them, but at the same time, there's a difference. Sometimes, I'll say this, sometimes kids can go a little bit in one direction, you do something, but then you start getting carried away, you start getting lax in one other space or and that's usually when you start trying to, okay, this is getting a little out of hand, we're going to try to redirect it, and I think it's the right move, and obviously it has been. There's not another. I haven't looked it up. There cannot be another more consistent coach for that time span in college baseball. There just can't be.
There's no way.
No. Well, it's like
no
even
chance.
It's just even since Arkansas missed the postseason in 2016, the only year that Dave Van Horn's missed postseason. I was actually talking about this with Tyler Spoon. Since that point in time, so since 2017 up to this point, the worst finish in the SEC that Arkansas has had in the SEC West has been second, where they had the audacity to only win 18 games in the SEC. And they have won the West multiple times. Of course, we know they've won the regular season. But and also over that span, I think of those six years, they've had 20 SEC wins, 4 of those 6. So, I know that there's been teams that have won the title, and, that's what a lot of people are always going to look at, which I get it. But it's like, you think about those teams like Ole Miss. Yeah, they won the title, but, they've had bad years. LSU is not that. I mean, I know they go to the postseason. Who knows what happens this year, but they won it last year. They're not. But it's like as far as the regular season consistency and kind of just, players go in, new players come out. I don't think that there's anybody that's just had a more successful and consistent power than what Arkansas had.
That's as impressive as anything. It's just the consistency. 40 wins and how many seasons? How many consecutive seasons?
I mean, at this point, it's 2017. It's like this, so.
Yeah. It's outrageous.
Yeah. But someone can get hot at the right time and win it, but for someone to be that consistent for that long just says so much more about your program and about you and the way you go about your business than the one championship, in my opinion.
And at the same time, when you've developed this program into what it is, anytime every team you face, you get their best.
Yeah.
Every single time. Whether it's midweek against, whoever.
Yeah.
Or an SEC team, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're getting everybody's best.
Some people will throw their Friday night guy midweek just to beat you that one game.
Yeah. Well, that's what's even crazier is Arkansas went undefeated in midweek games this year. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough thing to do.
That's kind of the only way they can get their RPI up.
Yeah, it's by getting that win. And I'm going to say this, too, and hopefully I don't trigger anybody too badly in here because I think I'm about to trigger one of the people up here. Your thoughts on Perry Costello? Can we talk about Perry Costello?
Yeah, I think you should join Angel Hernandez in the retirement community.
I mean, I know you've seen the pictures, Dom. Of,
obviously, they don't put the square in the College World Series anymore.
I wonder why.
Because it'd be as big as this table.
Yeah. Well, I remember that's the one thing, man, that, of course, from in 2012, y'all made it to the World Series and playing South Carolina, really good team. Ended up, I don't know, and also Tanner English is fast. If anybody doesn't remember that, good grief. But either way, Perry Costello, though, I've just always been fascinated. Once you get out of the game and you can kind of feel like you can unleash a little bit about how you truly feel about certain umpires. He might be the one.
I don't know if I should because, I mean, is there a chance that he's going to be in Omaha again?
I mean, there is a chance.
Well, he's been there for I don't know how many consecutive years. I don't want him to see this. And, Arkansas gets there and all of a sudden the zone's big enough to drive a Buick through. So
I feel like we always got him. We got him in Arizona State, too, in the Supers whenever we got there, whenever we didn't make it.
Yeah. I don't know how he keeps getting College World Series jobs. He's terrible. Mm-hmm. He's awful. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
He's brutal.
Yeah. Like I said, I did not to bring up any bad memories or anything like that. But, he's that's the one thing that, because, that's what's crazy is college baseball. Obviously, nowadays you can get any game on TV, or at least they're live streaming. But, back when y'all were playing, I don't remember if you guys were on ESPN or ESPN2 or something. It was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a huge deal. And, that was a time when, you mentioned that Arizona 4 games that you guys went out there. When, that wasn't on TV. Nobody could watch it. So, nobody really remembers that. But, once you got to the postseason and you got to Omaha, that's what people always will remember is about, Tanner English being fast. It's the fans more so than anything, but also, like the Perry Costello strike zone. So, let's hope he's not involved in everything. Because I wanted to say he was at the Fayetteville Regional in 2021.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I think so. So
I feel like I remember that. And we're always like, how's he in this lineup?
I don't know. Like, surely there is one other person out there, another umpire that they could find and just be like, Okay, let's put you in here instead. Like, let's give you the nod.
Anybody else was that bad at their job in any other field, they wouldn't have that job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just keeps getting away with being brutal.
Mm-hmm. Well, same thing with Angel Hernandez, I guess.
God for reviews.
Man.
Now.
Yeah, that changes everything. So, also, some people in the chat wanted me to ask, just what are y'all, I don't know if this is a big deal or not, what are y'all's thoughts on the double bags?
Hate them.
You hate them?
I hate them.
Well, I mean, I know you play first baseman and you're short.
Let me take this.
Okay, all right, Tim, all right.
I remember being a kid, and then you see, oh, man, the older guys get to wear metal spikes. Like, you don't have to worry about this other bag. Like, it was an actual game. And now it's like, are we trying to take the bigger game and bring it back to the Little League? Like, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think it's weak. I think it's soft. They need to get rid of it. Maybe they're just not trying to get someone hurt during the SEC tournament because obviously that's the time you don't want to do that. But at the same time, like, come on.
No. Well, it's like, I know, like, I think it was Brady Slavens is the guy that got hurt, at the first base spot. And he even had a kind of a funny, unique, snarky tweet about it. He's like, oh, now they do it. But, you guys have played infield, and I know you played first. It's like just adjusting where you've been on one bag the entire season, and then this, it's like, all right, now you got two bags. I feel like that's got to throw you off at least a little bit.
I don't think it's needed.
Yeah.
If you're a good enough first baseman and you're not standing directly on top of the bag when there's a runner bearing down on you, unless, I don't know how to put this, but unless the hitter is a dick, you shouldn't get your foot stepped on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think there's a need for it. I think it's just a way to, like he said, turn it into just add new rules, add new regulations, change the game for something that's not even that important.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure on the, Monday practice, whenever they practice, they probably had to work on a high throw where they have to switch over and not, like, just make sure they had the right footwork on it. But it just seems like it just doesn't seem necessary. It's not a direction we need to start trying to,
go towards.
There's more important things to focus on than that.
Well, we have football fans here. We need to elaborate on that. Like, we're not trying to make the game less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I used to. If you watch old school baseball, people get blown up at second base, get up. Hey, here you go, man. And to me that was baseball, and I'm still for that.
Yeah.
I still have scars on my leg from getting cleated, and I didn't like cry or make a fit about it. That's part of the game. And to me that is the game. And you can't. It's not going to. We don't need to be bubble boys.
No.
There's a little bit of grit to it. Okay, Buster Posey rule, maybe. But now it's getting a little over the top where there's not even a play at the plate. Someone accidentally steps in front of the plate, and now they're safe at home.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, see, and I've always said with rules in any sport, and you can take football, basketball, baseball, or anything like that. I'm like, if it's not like a reoccurring, ongoing problem, where it's like it's something that's if a first baseman is getting injured all the time or something, but I'm like, when you change the game, change the rules, you're talking about the most minor, small percentage of impact that it's had on people. I just don't understand maybe why the rule needs changing. For instance, in football, like targeting, I don't think anyone still knows what targeting is, and it changes all that. But it's like you get the principle of it, but then it's like in college football this year, they're getting rid of the first down marker, ending up stopping the clock, and now it's just going to be unless in the final 2 minutes of the game.
Like the NFL?
Yeah, similar to the NFL.
Running clock.
Yeah, now if you go out of bounds, it still stops the clock.
So the TV time can be set up.
Yeah, more commercials. Yeah. You got to get those BK, have it your way, all those commercials at that point. But no.
Speaking of which, second bag, I don't know if that's just what they did. I know minor league's always trying to do new stuff, and then maybe that's just what they did at the Barons Park. I don't know. Didn't look. Just thought of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they just went with it because it was already there. I don't know.
Maybe so. I don't know what it seems like in baseball, though. I mean, they're changing every sport, but like in baseball, it's every year. The pitch clock was a huge thing for everybody. And I think there's a lot of people that's kind of liked it, though, making the games quicker and,
For like, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah. Well, again, it's like it's too long, man. That's what they said. And like, Spoon was telling me that if he was doing it, he couldn't do this stuff anymore. After every pitch.
What would happen to Nomar Garciaparra?
Dude, he would have been out of his element if that was the case. But it is changing. But we're speaking here with former Razorbacks Tim Carver and Dominic Ficachoa at Tin Roof here on Dickson Street. I won't keep you guys too much longer, but I will say that this year's team. You guys watch it. You guys pay attention. Dom, I see you, kind of standing back behind home plate, chewing your nails like you're still playing out there and coaching. But what do you make of this team heading into postseason? We know what the record is. We know who they got as far as the lineup, the pitching, all of that. But just how do you feel about this team heading into this postseason?
Man, what I see, you're going to have somebody, like he said earlier today, you're going to have a young guy because they're scouting reports on all the top guys. So somebody that hasn't been a regular guy is going to have to step up, and you're going to see a new name really make a name for themselves. But I really do see this team getting to Omaha and making a run. 2012, very similar situation where we were hot, maybe 13-2 or something crazy like that. Got cold when I might have went 2-Q in the tournament. Ended up coming and making it. Like I'm telling you, Coach Van Horn builds them up mentally and knows what he's doing, and I'm fully confident in their ability to get there still.
And one thing we learned, or that they instilled in us back then, was, obviously, we've all heard a lot of gripe about the offense, maybe not scoring enough runs, this and that. But what we were told back when we were here, and it's something that stuck with me to this day, we tell our kids at Springdale, same thing all the time, is, we don't need to win as much as we would like to, we don't need to win every game by 10 runs. All right? The teams that make it to Omaha, it's because of good pitching, good defense, and timely hitting. Mm-hmm. Not a ton of hitting, timely hitting. If you got the good pitching, all right, you limit how many runs they score. Good defense, same thing. And then timely hitting. So runners in scoring position, moving a guy over, pushing a guy across when you need it most.
Yeah, you got a guy on third with one out. You guys to come home.
Yes,
yeah.
To a degree. Yeah. I mean, it's timely. It doesn't have to be 9 innings of all out, just hammering the baseball. Mm-hmm. All right? You just need, who cares? At this point in the season, nobody should care whether we win by 15 runs or whether we win by 1.
Yeah.
All right? Because it doesn't matter. A win keeps your season alive.
Yeah.
And you know what? We got the pitching.
Coach Beller used to always say after a win, get a.
Go ahead.
It didn't matter. He'd always do it on the sloppy win, just be like, we won, like.
Why did he hold up 3?
Win W.
Oh.
That was what he did. Like, I know, that's what I said at first. I was like, 3, what's that? But then you're like, oh, okay.
No, okay. Yeah. Well, I also was thinking about, someone like Hagen Smith, seen 17 strikeouts in the game and 14 strikeouts. Looking at his numbers, in SEC play, I know you guys know this, but, he's averaging 2 strikeouts an inning. I mean, it's
absurd.
That's stupid. That is so stupid.
Outrageous. I haven't seen anything like it since Steven Strasburg when he was at San Diego State.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the closest thing I've ever seen to it.
What you might see, I think it was Kentucky, what they started trying to do is try to bunt more.
Yeah.
You might see that because if you're striking out twice a game, and it's been shown for this long a time, you're going to have to be able to handle the ball. Mm-hmm. So that might be a deciding factor. Simo, you already know. Trevor Ezel, he played here.
Yeah.
He's got a little feel of the program, but they don't have the firepower. But they're probably going to try to make adjustments, and I'm sure we're going to be aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Dave's going to make sure of it too. So hopefully it ends up being a successful postseason and everything, but I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out and talking some ball.
At least once a year.
Yeah, listen, this is the best time of year, postseason in Fayetteville. I know that because I guess was it 09 that you guys were home supers and host everything, or did you? No, you had to go to Florida State, I think.
Yeah,
the supers.
Yeah, Andrew Darr, man.
Yeah.
Zach Cox hit the game winner, but Andrew Darr went off. This is another player I was talking about. Another player that. You don't really recognize. No one knows a whole lot of scouting report on. May or may not remember his name. His jersey's still hung up at Foghorns down by Baum because he went absolutely off. And I mean, literally, we couldn't have won it without him. But then you have Tom Hosky, and I mean, it was a good club. Obviously, McCann, everybody. I mean, you had a lot of big leaguers on that club. But Andrew Darr was somebody that you didn't even really know until that moment. Somebody who's going to be that guy this year. That's what we got to look for.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's what's hopefully anybody steps up for Arkansas and everything. But I'm just hoping that it's a nice, easy. I'm sure it will be, right? Easy. No problem at all.
Always
3 games and on to the next one.
Always is.
Yeah, totally. Never any stress that's in Baum Walker Stadium. So, but Dominic Ficcaccio, Tim Carver, appreciate you guys hanging out, man. Yeah. And yes, me and Tim did go to Fayetteville High School together. Had some great times and stayed out of trouble. In fact,
sure.
Yeah. Well,
I knew he was a sports guy because
I was too fat to play.
No, I'm not going to go into this, but dude, we were good friends, and
yeah, man.
I was thrilled that you invited us on here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Of course. It's like I thought about. I was like, man, if I could tell a good Tim story about it, I'm not going to embarrass you or anything, but it will say that we talk about things like we were in junior high. We had one of our teachers named Coach Matthews, and he had one arm. He was the track coach.
Love him still.
Yeah. So
one of my favorite teachers.
Oh yeah, he was great. Like I love Coach Matthews, but he had one arm, but he had half of an arm on this. And I remember one of the first weeks we were there, like he would mess with us guys, and he got in a headlock, and he got with this other arm, and he'd get you in the back like this, and he called it the nub rub. And we were just like, this guy is wild. And but I remember stuff like that. And then, I think me and Tim got sent to ISS for 3 straight days in his class because we wouldn't pick up paper, something stupid like that. But yeah, that was the stuff that, it's changed. But no, I'm proud of both y'all. And of course, seeing you guys kind of still be in the game in some capacity.
Yeah, man.
I know is always, I got a love for it. Yeah. Yeah. Also, okay, I'm gonna get you guys out of here. 2 things. One, people want to know: do you guys still keep all your jerseys that you wore at Arkansas?
I have a few.
Okay, got a few.
Yeah, a couple.
Okay. The other one was: how did Dave?
Don't tell Clay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he'll come for you. I'm looking for it. Another one was if Dave was such a stickler, how did Dom get away with wearing shell necklaces?
Because I hit 365.
Oh, well, that helps.
Hey, he's not a big stickler, man.
No,
let's
not.
Get this
No,
out.
Yeah. That's true.
He's not. He gets it. He really does. But so here's the deal. He's the kind of guy that lets you go about your business a certain way. He's not going to try to interrupt how you get successful. Whenever you start losing your success, it's like, okay, we got to try to readapt your mind and get you refocused.
Exactly.
More so than, I just hate what you're doing, and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like he's just being he's mad that you lost. He's like, get that necklace off of you right now because he's just mad.
Right. No, there's a system about it all.
Method to the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it works, whatever it is that he does.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it works not only just with the success of a team, but the amount of pros that he's put in and, the respect that he has from everybody and all of his former players. Yeah. So, get it right to their Swass or whatever your name was, and not Stickler. Anything like that. Well, guys, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming out and look forward to a big weekend. So, again, that's Dominic Ficcaccio and Tim Carver for Razorbacks here on the John Neighbors Show live from Tin Roof on Dickson Street. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what they got going on here at the Tin Roof on Dickson Street, so you better stay with us.
We're not done yet either. So don't be satisfied because we're not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added 2-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. Okay, you missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horn.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile! Smile! Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh, oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Well, stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Neighbors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Neighbors Show here live at the Tin Roof Dickson. Appreciate everybody watching in, listening in, and being here at Tin Roof Dickson. Folks, we're going to keep the party going even though we're off here at the live stream at 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah, we're going to keep it going here. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, a lot of good time. And back by popular demand, by the way, it's our guy Noah of Tin Roof, who is security and kitchen, right?
Yes, sir.
I think every time I see you, I get one extra word right. What exactly it is that you do.
That was actually perfect.
That's perfect?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you're there.
Yeah, well, I know that people were saying that they were really impressed by, your approach to sports and Razorback sports because you're a big fan of it. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I love coming on here, and I love listening to the show. I love listening to the Bombastic and the Pod at the Palace.
Yep.
I have thought a lot about Coleman Hawkins today.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on Coleman Hawkins then, if that's the case?
I think I want Kaluma more than him.
Okay.
Just because I think the personality, I don't know if it's...
Yeah, Curse is over here agreeing with you, it looks like.
I just don't know if the personality is what we... and obviously, if we got him, I would love him.
Of course, yeah.
And I don't care about the NIL. Pay him
whatever it takes.
Yeah, because we have it.
Mm-hmm.
So... But I mean, the big personality. His Twitter is kind of just weird. Like I don't know if he's just trolling, but I think it's just like he's a big personality.
Yeah.
And on that Illinois team, it's like that year they lost to us. They were a nightmare in terms of just inner squad beefs and whatnot. And I just don't know. I would rather have a guy like Kaluma who has also been there and done that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he might be a little bit smaller. He might not have the post-up game. But I think, in terms of talent, I think they're similar.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think Arkansas is at the point now, at least in basketball, it's like the players that they have already committed and signed, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be just fine with what they have going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we know that they're wanting to add a few more players. Or I guess, well, they're going to add players no matter what, but certain amount of players. They don't want to add too many players there. But, yeah, being able to have it seems like almost like a pick of your choice when it comes to the amount of players that they have been adding. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been exciting to see. And I know, Cal, I'm still waiting on him to come up and roll into Tin Roof, man. I heard that Glenny Balls was here last night. Were you here last night?
Was not here last night.
He was here hanging out.
Yeah, I heard that he's in Fayetteville. Mallory said she DM'd him, actually. So I haven't heard the scoop on Glenny Balls being in here. I don't know why he's here. I heard he might be here for the regional.
Yeah, that's what from what I understand on Barstool. Yeah, he's here for the regional.
I'm sure they're doing some sort of production with the fans and maybe. Which will be very, very cool. Maybe something to do with the beer hats or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Well, see, I'm telling you, because it's like, Glenny Balls is here. Last week we had Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Who was hanging out here, and then
who is next?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like because Cal did walk by. Yeah. He's gonna roll up in here at some point at Tin Roof. So
yeah, we
had Waka here. Right, Waka Flocka.
Waka Flocka, yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
He really was. He was really cool. And he showed love to everybody. We had the VIP section roped off, and he said, "Guys, don't rope it off. It's fine. I want to hang out with these people." And so
that's cool. Yeah. That is cool. So what's going on at Tin Roof not only tonight, but the whole weekend? Because I know it's going to be a big one with everybody from regionals for the Fayetteville Regional.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what band we have coming in. Mallory, what band do we have?
Yeah, what's the
this
band,
weekend?
Mallory? Since you didn't want to come on with me, what's the band?
Tonight? Okay.
DJ Rav upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, Gavin Summerall.
9:30.
Gavin is a local guy. He's played a lot in the last couple of weeks. We love him.
Yeah.
He's friends with a lot of the bands. He'll go up with the 9:30 band too sometimes and play with them. Yeah, really great guy.
Sweet.
Great voice. So.
Well, the thing is like you guys.
And DJ Rev, great friend of mine.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of compliments. Yeah,
been doing it for years.
Well, and I was thinking like here, every time I come here, it's always fun to hear about the live music that's going on because there is so much.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so much live music that you guys have, and obviously you got different types of live music, but it's always good. Like it's always going to be entertaining and performative.
And I like how we mix the local as well as we have some due to us Tin Roof having connections with a lot of bands. We'll get bands from out of town. We had Denver Massey, who's I love those guys every time they come in. They're great people from Memphis. And we have a lot of bands from Nashville come in as well. And then you also get our locals like Leighton Robinson, good friend of mine, Gavin Summerall, and some other local bands. And a lot of our DJs are local. And then we'll also have some out-of-town guys come in, and once in a while the DJ here too. So.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And hopefully the weather is cooperative with not only for the Fayetteville Regionals, but also just for
man.
Everything that's going on
I'm
here.
done with rain delays.
Yes.
I watch a lot of the Cardinals, and they have had so many rain delays this year, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, because was it the Reds? Is that who they played here recently? Yeah, the Reds. Yeah, that would be tough. But yeah, I'm about sick of the rain delays too. And but we were talking about it. In 2017, I remember Arkansas. They ended up losing that regional at home, but. One of the most famous regionals was the 3 a.m. game, and I remember being there in person for that against Missouri State. Arkansas ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
But you had like 2 different rain delays that were going hours upon hours and how like intense that was. But to be able to go there and to see it for that, like to watch a baseball game at 3 a.m. is kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I think the latest I've probably been at the park is close to midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying I hope that happens, but if it did happen, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if they had a 3 a.m. game
unless
there.
we lose.
Well, because then we don't win any part of that stuff. We ain't about losing. But, it's different because it's also unique with college baseball because, we think about postseason in football or in basketball, really. You're never at home. But to be able to have it here and to host it here, it's also not only great for the fans to be able to go to, but I know it's great for businesses like Tin Roof, having that many people come in when the students are gone and everything. You get a lot of people in town to be able to come to this place to learn.
Yeah, I'm working way more in the kitchen this week because, like, during the summer, our kitchen doesn't get too busy all the time, but I'm getting more hours because of
there you go.
The baseball being in town.
Yeah.
So it's good for the entire Fayetteville economy when the Hogs play well. So that's why you should root for the Hogs.
Yeah. If any reason, it's that reason alone. So because here at United States Sports, we officially dubbed this the Fayetteville Regional HQ. So for everybody to come on out throughout the entire weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know you guys are going to be having the games on. You still got things like, of course, the NBA playoffs still happening too, and Major League Baseball, NHL. Yeah, that's
tonight
happening.
You got Madison Square Garden, Game 5, 2-2 series. Panthers Rangers going to be a great game, and then you've got, of course, Dallas, Minnesota in the NBA. I think. If you tell me what I think happens in that series, I think Dallas wins in 6. I think the Timberwolves pull another one out, but I just think, with the fact of having 2 closers in Kyrie and Luka, it's just so hard to beat them in the fourth quarter. And I think the Timberwolves got a little bit lucky.
Yeah,
in the last game.
They're fun to watch though. Like they're fun teams to watch, and so that's going to be happening tonight. But plenty of places to watch the games here at Tin Roof. And because I was trying to find if there's a place I do not have a good view on. I was like, nope, I got good views everywhere I'm looking at here. So
I don't think there's a bar around here that has more TVs than us.
I'd be hard pressed to find one, that's for sure. Yeah, this is the place to be too. So, but no, I'm excited about the weekend here, and of course, again with baseball, and we talked about some of the basketball news that's going on, and we're going to get Calipari here. It's going to happen. I will say this. I'm not trying.
He lives right around the corner.
I'm going to say this. I meant to bring this up earlier, but of course, we were talking about more important things. But this is something that really pisses me off. That Arkansas announces today that they're having Alan Jackson play at Bud Walton Arena. Now, that's awesome. I like Alan Jackson. But they announced it at a time when it's the same day as the Arkansas-Texas A&M football game in Arlington. It's the same day.
Who's going to go to that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I actually put up a poll question on Twitter, and obviously on my Twitter, it is as 100% accurate and a great representation. I was like, what are you?
Absolutely.
I was like, what are you going to do? Or as a Razorback fan, are you going to go to the game against A&M, or are you going to go and sing Chattahoochee? Well, or are you going to go to neither? 47% that they're going to neither. 27% just barely says they're going to Jerry World, and then 26% says they're going to Alan Jackson. So I just thought that was a
little bit surprising. You got a lot of Alan Jackson people in your
it's either got
comments.
I either got a lot of Alan Jackson people, or I have a lot of people that are just fed up with the Razorback football team and just don't want to watch them. Like, it could be that too. But I think it's more so that because they did that for Garth Brooks a few years ago. I went to that concert at Razorback Stadium, and then I kept wondering if they were going to add some stuff, which is an awesome concert, by the way. It was like in the middle of April, though, and there wasn't anything going on, really. But now they're doing that. I just don't know how that's going to look. And I guess maybe if Arkansas loses to Oklahoma State in football, then people are like, let's go to the Alan Jackson concert there at Bud Walton Arena.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I really hope we're good. I really hope last year with the offensive line, it was a nightmare to watch us play.
Mm-hmm. That was bad. It was tough. It's not something that I ever want to witness again, because it was like a frustrating thing to know that you were a better team than what that.
High expectations going into the year.
Yeah, I know, and because I
saw a pathway to 9-3 last year.
I usually do. That's what I get a hard time for. Everyone's always like, "Oh, you're always hyping them up to win 10 games." I'm like, yeah, because one time I'm going to be right, and then you're all going to look stupid. Yeah. So that's my goal, is one time for it to be that way, But hey, Noah, man, it's always good to talk with you and have you on here and hang out, and again, having out in Tin Roof. And like I said, it's going to be a big weekend, a place to go and a place to hang out. And
if you want to get the regional celebration started early tonight, we've got Dollar Wells starting at 9 o'clock, going to 11, and then they go to $3 after 11. Should be a good time. DJ Rev always has a good time upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and I know everybody else has a really good time upstairs too. And we got to find a way to get Glenny Balls out here again. Like,
he's not going anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the place he needs to go. He needs to hang out. And for those of you, because I saw people in the comment, they're like, "Who is Glenny Balls?" I'm like, well, there's a Barstool Sports.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody know about the Sunday conversation by now?
That's almost the best thing with him and Caleb. And
you've heard that whole story about how Caleb got Glenny Balls hired, right?
Remind me.
So Glenny Balls came in for the interview, and Portnoy let Presley hire somebody. He said, "You have full control over who you want to hire." And Glenny Balls, in the interview, Caleb asked him, "What's something kind of weird about you?" He said, "Well, I'm fat, but I'm kind of fast." And so Caleb takes him out on the street and has him, I think, race some random guy on the street. He says, if you beat him in the race, you get the job.
And he beat him?
And he beat him, and that's how he got his job.
Oh, I'm glad.
Something like that. I probably, but I've heard that story.
I think I do remember something like that, but it does crack me up, because I'm like, now it's like if you're one of those guys that watches Glenny and everything, man, you got your job that way, and it worked out. But it's a good pairing, because usually he's the guy that's just sitting over there in the corner that eating ice cream, wearing some costume, or being shirtless and everything. So we need to. Because again, we've gotten a lot of celebrities here at Tin Roof, and it just got to keep it going. But got to keep it happening with Glenny Balls and get him. But he also does the Only Stands interview, I believe.
I have seen. Yeah, I've seen. That's a funny podcast.
Yeah, interviewing OnlyFans models.
I've only seen clips of it, but it amuses me.
Well, everything he does is pretty amusing. Yeah. So, but we'll have some fun with that, I'm sure. If he comes by, we'll give him a bunch of Who's Your Natties, and just fill him up with that too.
Get him fired up.
Yeah, got to. So, Noah, appreciate you, man, coming on, hanging out, know that, and
thank you so much.
Always, you're going to be here for the rest of the night, or are you?
I'm going to go see my girlfriend at JJ's for a second, but I'm back here at 10 to work security, and then I'll be here all weekend.
All right. Well, let's hope Brock Wessner doesn't walk in, so we don't have to worry about you hurting yourself. We don't have to do that. So, all right, appreciate it, man. We're going to have more of the John Neighbor Show live at Tin Roof here on Dickson Street, so stay with us.
We not done yet either, so don't be satisfied, because we not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added two-parter, if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric,
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic. Yes, sir.
You know, and I like, you know, I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile! Smile! Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh, oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Neighbors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Neighbors Show here live from Tin Roof Dickson Street as we are here hanging out. A little rain outside, but still keeping the party going here. And we're going to be going until 8 o'clock for the live stream at least, but still going to be having some fun as the party continues on. As if you're watching on the live stream here, you're probably wondering who these people are. And these are the interns. These are Natty interns.
Yeah,
got intern Will, intern Landon, and intern Parker.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys hosted an intern podcast.
We did.
By yourselves, even.
Yeah.
Currently pending for episode 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who'd you guys have for that?
Jay Wood.
Sorry, I'm moving that for you.
I'm just an intern. We had Jay Woo Cho on. That was great.
Is it Cho or Chew?
It's Cho.
Cho.
It's Cho?
We did ask. It is Cho.
Okay. Jay Wood Cho. Yeah. So, okay. Well, cool. Well, yeah, at some point in time that'll come out, and then it'll be really good.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the guy that is supposed to be in charge of doing that and producing that.
We got to get him.
Got to do that. So, but I know you guys are still in school, and you're going to be interning with us. He's helping out in the fall or the summer. Well, I guess Will's going to home for the summertime.
Yeah, I'm home for the summer. It's so boring.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, this is the time where he came up because you guys are all going to the regionals or at least watching it.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there for probably every game.
Yeah, Hog Pen.
No, I think we have seatbacks today.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world.
Yeah, not invited to the champagne room, I guess, if that's the case. So, okay, well, I know that the Hog Pen, I guess, is always. We got some members of the Hog Pen out there, so I see. Yep, there they are. Hog Pen, yeah. They're the normal ones, though.
Yeah.
They're the ones I actually enjoy hanging out with instead of feeling uncomfortable all the time, making me feel uncomfortable. So, but yeah, with the regionals coming up.
Yeah.
You guys have been a postseason, right? You guys went to last year, probably, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I got to remember you guys were like born when like Obama was in office or whatever it was.
I was in kindergarten when he got elected for the first time.
Man, you're so old. Yeah. Imagine being born when Reagan was president.
The first regional I went to was 2018. So
that was a good one.
Yeah, the year we went, we should have won it all. Obviously.
Yeah. I remember that very well, actually. I was on this street when that happened and that went down.
That regional was like super hot. It was like 105 out for the whole regional. I remember that vividly.
Yeah. People always like when they come, because luckily it's not going to be like that this weekend. We'll see what it is next weekend. But like my memory of the regionals and supers is always just people like passing out, like falling into the concourse because it's so
last year
dangerous.
was hot.
Yeah. And just TCU was not.
They were.
That was not fun.
Yeah. TCU was hot.
Yeah. Well, but the only against Arkansas, it felt like it. Like they were just over there always.
Because they stole our sons.
That's right, yeah. Had to be some other reason. Couldn't just been us. They were doing something shady. Had to happen. But luckily, they're not in this regional for Arkansas. And I don't know about y'all, because I know you guys, of course, talk baseball, but I'm kind of feeling like Mississippi State's going to be, if Arkansas, assuming they're getting through the regional, I think Mississippi State's going to be the super.
I agree.
Coming to Fayetteville.
It scares me.
I know.
I disagree.
You think it's Virginia?
Yeah, I think it's Virginia.
Why do you think it's Virginia?
Because I think being scared of Mississippi State is like, to me, that feels weak. I don't see how they're that scary. Like the offense is probably bottom 3 in the SEC, and the pitching staff has gotten hot lately. But like, to me, that's not a team to be scared of.
Okay.
Mississippi State, especially if they're here. If we're hosting that in Baum Walker, I mean, I'm not worried.
Do you want to know what team scares me?
LSU.
Every team.
Oh. Yeah.
Because I'm a Razorback fan. And because like, I still, the biggest comparison I make is when I went over to Stillwater in 2022. Like that Razorback team wasn't even at the Nationals. They didn't host. They struggled at the end of the year. I'm like, man, this is going to be a quick trip to Stillwater. Only have to go to Eskimo Joe's one time, thank the Lord. And so then it ended up being one of the most intense and crazy regionals of all time. But I remember just watching that Oklahoma State team. I was like, that team is so much better, is the best team I've seen Arkansas play, but they found ways to win.
Yep.
And so that's kind of, I'm sure, how Oklahoma State felt that year. I think they were the 3 seed.
They were 7.
They were 7? Okay, I thought they were even higher than that. But they were nasty and had some really great players. But that's what's crazy about baseball postseason. What makes it fun is, you think you're going to go up against a team that's really good, or you take care of business, or you go up against a team, you're like, all right, well, I like our matchup here. Doesn't always end up being the case.
Nope.
So I'm hopeful that it happens. Because have you guys been to Omaha before?
Yes.
Yes.
Twice. My roommate is from Omaha, so
Ew.
I'm really hoping to make the trip.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Omaha's it's a solid spot, I guess.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Omaha's nice for like 2 weeks at the end of June when everyone's there for the World Series.
Nothing else happens the rest of the year.
No.
You don't want to be there any other time of year, probably.
Yeah, don't do the Joe shot stuff. Like, can we put that to bed?
Yeah, because
finally?
LSU, nobody's going to beat LSU's record they did last year.
No.
Besides LSU when they go back.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. It was like cool when it first started up there in Omaha, but then just got to the point where I was done with it, and I'm like, this is dumb. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to have it. But other than that, though, there's a lot more to the fine city of Omaha, but that's part of it. So, yeah, it's going to happen, though.
Yeah.
You guys going to Madison Square Garden?
No. Depending on when it is. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving break. My mom wants to go to Thanksgiving in New York.
Okay, I want to say this about intern Will over here. He's at the most random places sometimes. Like, I'll just be walking up and I'll see him like he's on the field at a football practice. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, he just randomly is there.
Just find my ways around.
Yeah, apparently so.
He snapped me one time, like, on a football field, and I replied, I was like, where are you? And I don't remember where you said you were.
Probably back home. On the high school field.
Can you just like walk onto the Whitehall football field?
We go out there and like run the track or like throw the ball around, throw footballs.
You can't do that in Fayetteville. You'll get prosecuted.
We play like 7-on-7 out at Whitehall.
Yeah. I think Whitehall and Fayetteville are slightly different. Fine cities, mind you.
Whitehall
but
tells you to not go on the field or you'll get the cops called on you, but we just walk right past the sign.
Yeah, I'd say the 3 cops there in Whitehall are probably pretty busy. So
as many cops as we have red lights.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a great job with, of course, the Intern podcast. And, Parker's been writing some things. He's putting words together, sentences and everything.
Yep.
NattyStateSports.com. Yeah. So what's y'all's goal as interns of Natty State Sports? This is your interview.
I just want to, I don't know, do something like you do.
Oh.
Have my own
Be
show.
better than me,
or try
please.
to get to like ESPN.
Oh. Be something like me, but just be at a better place. More money.
More money.
Yeah. That's what we all want.
Like the next Paul Feinbaum.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Let's say that would
I'd like to be like Dari Noka or Peter Burns, something like that.
Yeah, PB's a cool guy. I like Peter Burns. Dari Noka's a really cool guy, too. SEC Media Days last year, hung out with them. I won't say it on the air, but it was it got pretty intense there, too. So, but, be better than Paul Feinbaum, though.
Yeah.
I like Paul, but, man, just the fact that he's gotten to the point he's at just having crazy callers is pretty much what it's like.
Like Iron Man on his call, I-Man, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. Like, shout out to Harvey Updike, though. That was one of the greatest stories that there ever was, though. Like, that was an awesome thing with that situation.
Yeah.
Poison trees. You guys remember that, right?
Yeah,
Because you're old enough to remember that.
Alabama.
Yeah, of course. So,
I
all
read
right.
about it.
You guys are doing a great job. Just keep up the good work.
What's Landon's goal?
Let's say you want to Have a goal?
I'm going to ride this one out. It's either this or law school, and I don't want to do
What?
that. So
Law school.
Imagine wanting to do this or law school.
Well, you know,
I think I know which direction you should go in.
I agree.
Yeah, law.
Yeah.
Make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Probably to not be an intern.
That's a great goal to have.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
the minute we move up in the world of, like, our names are just Landon, Parker. And
Yeah.
Mhm. That's when you know you'll made it.
Will that be the end of the intern podcast? I guess so, right?
No, I'm assuming we'll have more interns.
Then it would be the podcast.
What are you talking
We
about?
would just create our extended show.
If we graduated from being interns and then
Yes.
still had
Okay, well, hold on. The intern podcast isn't y'all's. Like, it isn't Parker, Landon, and Wills have ownership on it. You know, you may be the best ones, but it's for the interns. So we'll have more interns. You guys can teach the new interns how to be better podcasters. Selfish sons of... I'm telling you, man, over here.
Can we call it
Over
the
here.
Will Landon Parker Intern Podcast?
That sounds terrible. That might be the worst name of a
it's probably
podcast I've
bad
ever
for
heard.
views.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. Maybe.
Like, we're the founders of it, and people come in after us. It's like, you'll never be us, but you have it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, if you guys got to work on your creativity when it comes to the name of the podcast. So, anyways, well, appreciate you guys showing up here and having fun, and hopefully we get the regional victory and it all goes well for us
Hopefully
and everything.
next Thursday we'll be in a good mood.
Yeah,
for a super.
that's what we're hoping for. So we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with more of the John Neighbors Show live from Tin Roof here on Dickson Street. So stay with us on the other side of the break.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied. We not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric,
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horn.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Neighbors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Neighbors Show. You're live from Tin Roof Dickson Street, getting you ready for the regionals for Arkansas baseball happening tomorrow, hopefully, Lord willing, as long as the rain holds off at 2 p.m. right here at Baum Walker Stadium. And it's always great to be hanging out and talking a lot of baseball. We have talked a lot of baseball, but we have a very special guest that's joining us here once again at Tin Roof. On Dickson Street, it is former Razorback and current Fayetteville High School coach Casey Dick. What's up, Coach?
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man. It's good to talk with you. I know that it's kind of like my entire world's colliding because I grew up a Razorback fan, and I went to Fayetteville High School.
Did do that.
And you, I'm sorry, and I should have introduced you as state champion.
We got lucky.
Yeah, well, we got lucky. Yeah. So, well, talk to me about that experience, man, of just to know going from being a player and now being a high school coach, moving up the ranks and state champion of the highest classification that there is in the state of Arkansas, man. It's got to be an awesome feeling.
It is. You know, we're very blessed to be where we are, first and foremost. You know, we've got some great players, a great community. that's with us and that gives us tremendous support in every way that we can. So I think that's first and foremost behind a very successful program. You have a very successful community and a very successful administration that really pushes us in the vision as far as athletics. And then we have some great kids. You look at who we had last year. We had unbelievable leaders, all over the field, very experienced. And then when you have a once in a generational kid come through Fayetteville again, they've had some really good talented kids come through. But when you have one like Drake Lindsay, who had the type of year that he had, very, very consistent, probably one of the best leaders we've ever been around. That's really when that magic happens, and he really took hold of our team and took us to the next level.
Yeah, and also being at a place like Fayetteville where, at least when I was there in school, it would have been like 100+ years since they won a state title, and of course Coach Patton went in there, won a few, and I know they won a few in between there too. So there's been a lot of tradition and. Coming into this job and being at a place where, of course, you attended school, being out of because you went to, was it Allen, Texas?
Allen, yeah.
Allen, Texas. So now calling Fayetteville your home where you were too is probably a pretty cool thing.
It's awesome. I tell everybody all the time. Obviously I'm from Texas, but I feel like I'm part Arkansan at the time.
Might as well be, yeah.
So really invested. Obviously in Northwest Arkansas, deeply rooted here. Love it, and just been very fortunate. I think since 2007, Fayetteville has played for, I think it's right around 10 state champions.
Yeah.
Or not 10, but probably 8 in the run there. Obviously, we lost one a couple years ago, ended up going back this year and doing that. So, again, just very proud of where we are and obviously want to keep pushing that envelope and continue knocking on the door.
Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about Arkansas football, too, because I asked this to everybody, but speaking of nostalgia, seeing a guy you played for 1 year, Bobby Vitrino, and seeing him back at Arkansas as the offensive coordinator, I mean, were you as surprised and as shocked as everybody else was to see that?
I tell everybody all the time, I would love to be the guy that was in their room when they first came with the idea of, hey, let's go hire Bobby Vitrino.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what everybody's reaction would be from the original standpoint. But obviously, the amount of football knowledge, I tell people all the time, I've never been around a coach who is what I feel like is more in the back pocket of a defensive coordinator on the opposing sideline than what he's able to do consistently week in and week out. And, you look at where he's gone, whether it was Arkansas, whether it was Western Kentucky, was Missouri State, or, Louisville, and what he's done with the type of kids that he's had, he's been successful. Even back when I was here obviously from here to Tyler Wilson to Mallet to, then you went to Western Kentucky and you had Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So, he's continually evolved the type of offense that he has to fit the kids that he has, and he's been successful for sure.
Yeah, when you think about the coaching change that, like a lot of college coaches or college players go through coaching changes in every sport, but to kind of go from, what you went through, and especially in your final year, was that a difficult thing to kind of get used to and go through, at that point?
It was, but it was just from the volume standpoint was the biggest thing because he puts so much on the quarterback from a line of scrimmage standpoint, from walking up to knowing, okay, how many tight ends do I have with backs in the backfield, with what front are they playing? Is it a run, pass to run? Can I get out of this or get out of that? So there's so many things going through your mind, but he does such a great job of preparing you. Like I said, it's the amount of preparation that the guy brings into a week was unmatched compared to what we'd had in the past. But that's who he was. That's the type of offense that he had. That's what he demanded of you. So, like I said, very, very great football coach that has a tremendous amount of knowledge in the game.
You played with, obviously, a lot of great players, and you had a lot of great plays. But the play I'm sure you get asked about the most, or at least people refer to the most, was technically your final play in college in the Miracle on Markham Part 2. Take me. I'm going to hopefully can just remember how this was. Arkansas was down 30-14.
Yep.
Stormed back. They were down 30-24, and it was 4th down.
That's correct.
And just ran up there and ran that play. Walk us through that.
If I remember correctly, it was 4th and 2 to 3 or something like that. Obviously going into the south end zone there in the same corner that the previous Miracle on Markham had happened. So that was obviously really special. He called a great play, and just that's something that we had practiced every single day. Is that that situation and making a play. And London obviously ran a great route and made an unbelievable catch on LSU. And I was hoping throughout my career we would have been 4 for 4 against LSU, but we were 2 for 2 is pretty good. I'll take it. Obviously, the triple overtime down there in Baton Rouge with Darren and all those guys was unbelievable. Just an unbelievable experience all around from playing in that environment. People don't understand what that environment's like the day after Thanksgiving. It's night. Obviously, they're super rowdy, doing an unbelievable job of really creating an unbelievable home field advantage. But just going down there and playing with those guys was phenomenal.
I was actually leading my next question because I was talking about the play, and I was like, going to the game. Is it that triple overtime game the one that gets mentioned to you or talked about?
That one is just because of the block. Everybody wants to talk about the block, and if it was a clip, and I'm like, it's been legal for, I don't know, 20 years.
Did
20
they throw
years
the
now?
flag? Did they throw the flag?
The flag still hadn't been thrown.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, because that was like the Wildcat. It was still something that was unique to people because they hadn't seen it very often of just doing that. Like in that moment, though. Like, you're there, and it's got to be an awkward angle to do. Is it just something you improvise on the spot? You're just go and hit him?
Yeah, he's so special back there. First of all, you never know where he's going to come out.
Man,
and really, when you throw 3 of them back there, it's even more awesome. Just to really, like, sometimes you're just back there like, wow, like there's 3 guys back there that are probably getting, the best 3 running backs at one school at one time. And just look at what they did. But they were, like I tell you all the time, they were better practice players than they were, when it got to a game. Like, nobody ever had to mention, hey, you guys got to go practice. Like, they just competed and fed off of each other every single day, and they were unbelievable leaders, which was why we were pretty good.
It probably felt pretty good after being a quarterback that gets hit all the time to go out and lay a hit on somebody like that.
I just used to turn around and hand the ball off, and then I got to finally go hit somebody.
Yeah, and downfield, a great hit it was too. Because it was McFadden kind of pointing back, because that's the whole video I've seen. Like,
that's how much faster I am than him. That's how much he caught up that fast, and then told me, hey, probably need to go block that guy.
Yeah, get the guy that's got
on for sure.
Yeah, he's on my tail here too. See, that's again, those are the moments that go back to it and go through that time and playing with those players. I mean, even today, it's one of those things. I don't know if you've gone through this, but you don't really realize just how in the moment, like, because I grew up a Razorback fan, just how great that team was and those running backs were to be on the same team with Hillis and McFadden and Jones.
It's just that group in general. I mean, you look from our sophomore year when we had Chris Houston and Jamal Anderson.
Yeah.
Then you had, nobody knew Darren and Felix as freshmen. Peyton was a sophomore at that time who, when I was still in high school, I can remember watching him be like, this guy is unbelievable. I thought he was probably the most talented, all-round, bigger back that had ever been around. And I think kind of that his career speaks of that. But he has the most unbelievable hands for a running back I've ever been around. Which is, I mean, we threw him the ball a lot, but probably should have thrown it to him more. Because when you caught it, nobody wanted to tackle him.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because you brought that up. I had a friend of mine that was actually a walk-on linebacker, I think in 07. Or at least a guy I knew that I went to Fayetteville High School with.
Who was it?
I brought it up because I knew I was going to forget his name. It'll come to me. But he graduated in 07 from Fayetteville High School, and he was a walk-on either linebacker or defensive back, one of the two.
Because we had
Ryan Runyon?
Yep. Orion.
Okay.
Because we had Kane Womack, but I think he was my age.
That's right, yeah.
He was now obviously the DC at
Which
Alabama.
Is insane to me, yeah. Like, that's crazy to me because he was at I walked the halls of Fayetteville High School with him. And now, I mean, it's crazy. But the thing that Orion told me is, us were like, oh, man, what's it like, playing against McFadden and all that. And he's like, oh, man, it's awesome and great and everything. He's in that, but he's not the best football player on the team. He's like, he's Peyton Hillis. He's like, that guy is just
nobody. I've never been around guys that never wanted to tackle anybody.
Yeah.
Especially in practice. It was like, hey, we'll just tag off on him.
Yeah. I saw him the other day at the baseball game. He still looks like he could play.
He's huge.
I mean, it's crazy.
His son looks just like him. Wait till you see his son.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully it's another Razorback prodigy that can come up,
absolutely.
Man. So we're joined by former Razorback Casey Dickson, state champion high school football coach for Fayetteville High School. So, did you always want to get into coaching? Like, is that something you always wanted to do?
I always did. From the time I was in ninth grade, I had an unbelievable position coach when I was a freshman in high school who I kind of looked up to. That I thought he never had a bad day. He was always in a great mood. So I was like, man, this looks pretty good. But then when I was in college, and obviously just the amount of there was a lot of turnover. There was a lot of different things that I learned, coaching styles, philosophies, and all that, and just kind of felt natural at the time to really go into it because I felt like it was something that I could do, which was, just connect with kids at a high level and really get them to do, whether it's something somebody couldn't do or really just connect with them, outside of football. But it's been unbelievable, man. I'm almost 20 years in, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And to know, like, going as a player, like, is there things that you took from certain coaches that you had or did you kind of mix it up with all the coaches that you ever had to?
Yeah, I think there's certain things you take from everybody. It's kind of like when you switch jobs, you take things from your leaders or your position coach or whoever it is, and you really just kind of throw them in a blender of what fixes what fits you the best.
Yeah.
Coach Nutt was an unbelievable motivator, unbelievable, players coach, but really related to his guys. And then you had, David Lee, who had been with the Cowboys and did Tony Romo, and he was like unbelievable at fundamentals and really getting you to develop and hone in on yourself and making yourself better. Then you had, Alex Wood and Gus, who at the time was just so innovative with what he was bringing to the table, and it was awesome. I tell people all the time, I've never had so many walkthroughs, and then had those walkthroughs on the field before the game, those plays actually be in the exact same spot where he wanted them to happen, and it would be a touchdown.
Yeah.
Whether it was at Auburn, I can vividly remember, hey, we're going to get when we ran the Woody play to
Reggie
Fish, where
yeah.
we snapped it to him. He said, hey, we're going to get the ball on the 17-yard on the left hash going in, and we're going to hit this, and he's going to go score a touchdown. And I'm like, it just worked.
Yeah.
Exactly where he said it was going to have. And then, again, Coach Petrino it was a shock at first, just because it was something that we haven't ever been used to. But it's like, trying to learn a foreign language at once you kind of understand the foundation of it and how it all pieces together, it's not that much as it seems, and that's why those guys really took off the longer he was here.
Because did you have 4 offensive coordinators?
So I had 4 different offensive coordinators, 4 different position coaches, 2 different head coaches in 4 years.
Man, that's no big deal, right? It makes it easy, right?
Make it work.
That's cool, because so many players, at some point they want to stay into the game as long as possible, whether it's going pros or in coaching. But a lot of players, still trying to find their way. But for you to kind of work your way up, and the journey that you've been on, and to still remain in Arkansas and be at one of the biggest high schools and being the head coach there.
Don't plan on going anywhere else.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's awesome, though. That's awesome. And it's cool to have you back in Fayetteville, too, and, of course, in Allen, Texas. I've heard that they've been pretty successful down there in high school football.
They've been all right. They're a $60 million stadium and brand new weight rooms and all that stuff, so they do all right. I think they've got about 350 kids on the 10 through 12 playing football down there right now. 6,000 kids in the high school, 6,500 I think last time I checked.
How did you, when you went to that high school, I thought I went to a big high school in Fayetteville, but man.
When I graduated, there was about 1,100 kids in my class, and now they're averaging obviously about 2,000 per grade, because they keep their freshmen at a freshman center, so it's just 10, 11, 12, so it's right about 2,100, 2,200 kids per class right now.
Insanity, absolute insanity. Well, before I let you get out of here, Coach, just how you feel about the upcoming season for your guys? I know it's another year, but state title coming off of it, you got to defend it.
Yeah, I think we're in a great place. Again, we're returning a lot of guys, and got some guys that have a lot of experience, and that's big, obviously, in high school football, and some guys that have been in some high volume situations. But again, we're in an awesome community. We have an awesome brand new facility for everybody that hasn't seen it. Just a state-of-the-art facility for high school kids, with a weight room and all those things. So I mean, our kids are very, very fortunate. They understand that, but they also understand, we've got to hold it up to a certain standard and go out and put a great show on the field for everybody every Friday.
Yeah, well, it's going to be awesome to see where it goes from here. Now, you're already going to have people trying to go after you, but now you have a target on your back. They want to get the state champs. So
they want to knock us off.
That's right. Well, former Razorback as well as the current head coach of Fayetteville High School, Casey Dick. Well, Coach, appreciate you coming out, man.
Appreciate
great.
you guys.
Yeah,
well, we got to have more often.
Yeah, wait, listen, now that I'm back in Fayetteville, I'm going to have to come to some games.
Come on. We'll set you up in the end zone, let you do the pregame show.
I'm about to say, if they'd I know I'm going to be honored there when everybody's going to be, they're name the stadium after me and all that.
Hogs by 90 Field.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be copyrighted or anything. So, but no, it's going to be great. I look forward to it, and good luck this season, Coach. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So we'll take a final break. We'll come back with the final segment here on the John Neighbors Show, live from Tin Roof Dickson. So stay with us.
We not done yet either. So don't be satisfied, because we not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Neighbors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, final segment here on the John Neighbors Show, live from Tin Roof Dickson Street, the place to be. The Fayetteville Regional HQ, as we like to call it here, as it's going to be a big weekend. You can't talk until I introduce you, Mallory. Come on. Because people are going to be like, who's that voice in the background? So I'm just giving you a hard time. It's fine. Everyone knows who you are. But yes, Mallory, the Assistant General Manager of Tin Roof Dickson Street. Got it right? I'm 2 for 2 on titles tonight.
I don't know. Am I allowed to talk now?
No, of course you are. Listen, you were back by popular demand. Everybody wanted to hear from you in the chat. And, you've become part of the show.
I like it.
Like, they don't even want me anymore. Like, they just want Noah and they want Mallory, and that's all they care about nowadays.
We'll just have our own show.
There you go. I'll let you figure out the title of what that'll be and make that work. So, but no, it's great to be back out here again. And again, seems like just yesterday we started this. This is our 5th week in a row on a Thursday being out here.
I know. Time's flying.
I know. And look at us now. And we got the regional set up. Looks like the weather's better. There's a little rain in there for a bit, but I can't tell if it's raining or not. It doesn't look like it is.
I don't think so.
No,
but
it's gonna be. But still, it's gonna be a big weekend. A lot of people in town for the regional here in Fayetteville, and so always having great deals. And tonight, I know we were the biggest deal here, but besides that, so you also got some really cool stuff happening tonight. You got the DJ that's gonna be upstairs, right?
Yep, we've got DJ Rev, who is. He's been here for a long time. I think he came from Dallas initially, but he's been in the area for a long time. Mm-hmm. And he's one of our resident DJs. We have him all the time, and he's super fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I've heard great things, and I've seen great things. I've seen the videos on the social media, which, by the way, follow Tin Roof on all their social medias, too. Yeah. I guess Facebook and Instagram is the things you guys do, mainly.
Yeah, honestly, our Facebook is just kind of like a secondary feed of everything we post on Instagram. So
Instagram's the thing to do.
Instagram's where you should follow.
Yeah, Instagram's the thing to do, because you see the fun that you guys have on karaoke nights, which is always awesome, and all the live music that you have, and even this weekend, having not only just people coming out here to celebrate a regional victory for the Razorbacks, which of course is going to happen, but also continuing on with the live entertainment that's going to be happening this weekend too.
Yeah. Tomorrow we've got a full day scheduled. We have a DJ, weather permitting, I guess, but we're just going to stay positive on that. But we've got a DJ out on the patio starting at 11 when we open. And then, we'll have the game on after that, and following the game, we'll have you guys back at 6 on the patio. And also inside, we'll have local Leighton Robinson. Mm-hmm. And she's going to be in here from 6 to 9. And then we'll have another band. I don't know if it's Gavin. I should check. But then we'll have entertainment the rest of the night.
No, yeah. Listen, no matter what night you come to Tin Roof, you're going to have entertainment of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be great. And again, hopefully the weather holds out, but you never know in this time. And for those who may not know, Mallory was at the Dallas Mavericks game the other night. She's a Mavericks fan.
Yeah, I was. It was awesome. It was cool to see. I took some creepy, we were in the second to last row of the nosebleeds, but we were, can you say courtside? Is that right? We were in the middle rather than behind the baskets. And
so you didn't have the worst seats in the house.
The iPhone 15, man, shout out. I zoomed in and have a really crispy picture of Dirk and a crispy picture of Shaq and Charles Barkley and Draymond Green. It was pretty cool.
Did you get Mark Cuban?
I didn't see him.
Oh.
I don't know where he was sitting.
I figured he'd be all about that.
It's not that good. I had to really stay still and zoom in.
Yeah. Well, I wish they would have gotten the win for you in the series victory, but
Me too.
That's okay. They're playing tonight. Will you go to one of the finals if you can?
Man, so we were so late leaving town. I was thinking the game was at 8:30, and it wasn't. It was at 7:30. So we just pulled straight up. We thought we were going to stop at my parents' house and chill for a minute. Nope. So we pulled straight up and ran from our parking spot. But we thought about just selling the tickets and turning back to Fayetteville, but we made it work.
Mm-hmm. No, listen.
And I would like to. That'd be really, really fun.
I had never been to an NBA Finals game, but and here's the thing. I'm kind of a Celtics fan.
Yeah, I know.
So Just saying.
We'll have to throw a bet down.
Throw some bets and see how that turns out, I'm sure. I don't know.
I'm ready. I mean,
I've kind of owned
confident.
a lot of money. I've kind of owned you in some bets so far. But
tonight we're still good.
So far.
Yeah.
You still got minutes left.
Yeah.
Not to make you nasty, and that's why you get you nervous now because it's not over yet. So you could drop one of those buzzwords. Did you ever watch Pee Wee Herman's?
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, rip in pieces. But anyways, I was saying, like, anytime they had a certain word, they'd all yell. And I was like, that's what we need to start doing. Anytime one of those words pops out, just everyone yells in the building and just goes with it. So,
there we go.
Yeah. But, no, it's been great coming out here. And, again, it's the live entertainment and being able to have a lot of Razorback fans here and some Razorback players' parents here, too, that have been hanging out. And,
it was a super fun turnout today.
Yeah, and then Glenny Balls was here yesterday, and we're going to have to try to get him back out here
He's still
weekend.
in the neighborhood. Yeah, he's going to a show at the Amp tonight.
Is it Hardy? Is that who's playing?
Yeah, and I don't know who that is, but I looked him up. And
it's a country artist, right?
Yep.
Oh, I got that right, at least.
Yeah. So he messaged me back, which I'm going to flex on that for. But,
yeah, about to say, how's bragging camp?
Yeah. But he said he might come back if they're not feeling dead after the show. So we'll see.
So basically,
I kind of want to just keep hanging out until then.
I'm about to say, I'm going to have to be here till 2 a.m. till y'all close.
Yeah.
Waiting on Glenny Balls to show up and to hang out with them.
How cool would that be?
It'd be pretty cool because, again, we got Brock Lesnar last week.
I know.
And then, Cal Perry's been walking around.
He's been walking around a few weeks ago.
He's going to pop in here at some point.
The halftime show at the Mavs game the other night was Big X the Plug, and he was at Tin Roof. He just popped into Tin Roof I guess during Row Week. Or wait, not Row. That's Texas. What am I thinking?
No, it is Row Week here.
Okay, Row. Yeah, he popped in and
who was it?
Big X the Plug.
Should I know that is?
I'm from Texas. He throws Luca in a song.
I guess I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, no, you would know. I think you would know the song.
I would say I know I'm very trendy and cool, but
yeah, he did the halftime show and then. Yeah, he was here just a few weeks ago and did a free little show upstairs, which was super cool. He was a great guy.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, and also Waka Flocka game here.
Waka Flocka was here not too long ago. I guess Row Week too. So yeah,
this is the place.
Really cool.
If you are a celebrity of sorts that comes to Fayetteville, there's only one place you go. It's Tin Roof
come
Dickson.
see me. I'll take care of you so well.
Yeah, I know. And it's like the Brock Lesnar thing was still pretty funny because it still intimidated me because of how big he was. But I
shook his hand, and I'm going to be able to say that forever.
Yeah, but you're flexing on everything. You shook Brock Lesnar's hand, you slid into the DMs of Glenny Balls, and he got back with you. It's like,
I'm into it.
If he throws a follow back, then that'll be something.
I mean,
he might
tonight. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, he might when he's coming out because I even tweeted at him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he didn't respond. But it's just like, hey, listen, all the Who's Your Natties are on me tonight. Which
he doesn't know what that means.
That doesn't matter. It's provocative.
Okay.
So he'll be like, oh, man, I got to see what that's all about.
I'll pour him one.
Yeah, well, we'll pour him a few of them and to hang out. So, but we'll see. I'm hoping your Mavs win tonight, though.
Me too.
Right now, they're
looking good. Since I've sat down here,
so
we've turned around a little bit. Yeah, we were down.
Yeah, so. You have to sit here the whole time because you can't be superstitious.
I know. I have to just not watch the game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
That's not fun.
No, it's fine. But it'll be all right. I'm rooting for him. I bet on him. So hopefully I win some money on him.
Yeah, I lost money the other night, so I haven't. And I'm not about to bet right now. So we'll see.
No, wait. You lose money to me or something else?
I lost money on the Mavs game.
You've been losing a lot of money lately.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd rather not say anything else on that.
I'd say it's part of it. But, hey, it's great to be out here at Tin Roof. And, again, I know we're wrapping up here, but party goes on the rest of the night till 2 a.m. tonight. And then tomorrow you guys are opening up at 11, right?
Yeah. We're come in and have some lunch before you hit Bomb Stadium, and we'll take care of you, and it'll be good and fun, and go Hogs.
And how about this? Also, if there is a rain delay, you guys have a roof because it's tin. It's made out of tin.
That's
roof.
true.
And
we do.
You have shelter.
It's in the name.
That's right. So this is the place to go. That if it's a rain delay or if it's a postponement, come over here. They got plenty of TVs. You can watch other games and hang out too.
Yeah.
So basically, you have no excuse not to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Come say hi.
Yeah, I was about to say, did I do a good enough? I didn't want to steal your thunder. I didn't know if you were having like some great,
You got it.
setup there too.
Yeah, you carried it away.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and we appreciate being here. Appreciate everybody showing up. This is great. This is great to hang out and see the city of Fayetteville come alive. It always does in postseason baseball. So, but we'll be back out here. I'm going to keep staying here tonight, and then tomorrow, and Saturday, Sunday. Every day.
Sounds good.
Yep, I'll be here. So appreciate everybody listening and watching in to the John Neighbors Show. Come out to Tin Roof on Dickson Street through this weekend for, there's too many people to name, but Mallory's here. So for Mallory, Martin, last name?
Yeah, that's it.
Nope, Eminem, did anyone call you that?
Yeah, it's happened. It's been done.
Probably a little bit.
That wasn't very original.
I tried. So for Mallory Martin and John Neighbors, same sports show, same sports channel. Actually, not tomorrow because it'll be the bombastic post-game show that we'll be doing. But either way, we'll be back here at Tin Roof tomorrow, 7 o'clock. So come out and see us. Have a great rest of your night.